How do you practice to get to Carnegie Hall? Advice to students using the Livianu method for developing a musical ear. Part 4. Why effort and time in practice equals exceptionalism in performance. The following is a public service announcement for young artists, music teachers, parents, and visually impaired people. The mission of my work is to make it easy to learn music for millions of children around the world who lack access to quality music education training and manuals. This is my contribution to helping young people everywhere. If you are listening to this material, then you have already taken the first step towards joining the world's high-performance musicians. The most important thing every student can control are the amount and quality of practice he or she applies to a specific problem. There is a famous anecdote. A tourist on the streets of New York asks a passerby, "How do I get to Carnegie Hall?" "Practice, practice, practice," responds the New Yorker. I would rephrase the answer: prepare, practice, and after practice. These are the 3 stages of learning music. Knowing that you have to practice is only the beginning of the journey. How to practice is exactly what I will discuss with you today, so you can really get to Carnegie Hall, Juilliard, or Broadway as an accomplished artist in any genre of music. With this in mind, I will share with you my thoughts on how and why anyone that has a strong desire and willingness to work hard and smart can develop a phenomenal musical ear and become a world-class musician. Part 4. Why effort and time in practice equals exceptionalism in performance. 56. With effort and time, you will develop a formidable musical ear and sight-singing skill. You will also acquire a vast amount of theoretical or deep musical knowledge, for example, tonal and harmonic structures. Elite musicians can draw at will on this deeply embedded knowledge when recognizing structures. Observed at the surface level, this ear training course contains a bunch of simple, insignificant, and boring singing exercises. However, all these exercises reveal important and specific theoretical units of knowledge, which are part of the student's emerging musical vocabulary. Without this ever-growing musical vocabulary, the young student is musically illiterate, even if he or she can perform the most difficult piece of music. This is the vast reservoir of knowledge and expertise where the young musician nourishes his or her interpretative skills. 57. When high-level technical skills are merged with the deep knowledge vocabulary, students enter the sublimation zone, creating a personal and original interpretative version of a musical piece, whether it is classical, rock, pop, or jazz. 58. Students that practice with passion and purpose, also known as dedicated practice, develop what scientists call long-term working memory, also known as expert working memory. 59. This means, in other words, that passionate students create their own retrieval structures, a personalized way of connecting data and sounds to concepts they already know, such as harmonic structures, modulation patterns, and so on. 60. The great lasting power of long-term working memory is that it is built permanently by each student on a personalized retrieval structure, which is connected to the very essence of a particular activity. This is another way great performers distinguish themselves from good musicians. 61. Elite musicians have a deep understanding of their field, which becomes the very structure on which they hang the huge quantities of data they study, be it ear training, a piano concerto, an operatic vocal score, etc. 62. Top musicians understand the music they learn at a higher level than average musicians do, because they have a superior structure for remembering relevant information about that music. 63. Great musicians remember more about particular compositions because they use the data at hand to make higher level inferences than average musicians. They connect and use the deep knowledge data. 64. Advanced musicians are much better than novices at remembering the overall internal structures in a musical composition, harmonic and thematic structures, modulations, forms, and so on, because they have studied, remembered, and now understand what the role of each chunk of knowledge is. 65. Well-educated musicians understand the strategic placement of intervals, chords, melodic patterns, and key notes in a musical piece. They also know the meaning of these intervals, chords, melodic patterns, and key notes in the larger context of the composition and not just the simple structural form of the chord or melodic pattern. 66. This type of superior long-term working memory in music is the central element of the expertise. 67. This is not simply general long-term memory, it is a permanent and specific musical skill acquired through years of dedicated practice. 68. In conclusion, extensive, well-structured, and deliberate practice develops specific abilities that are common in all great performers. They perceive more, they know more, they remember more that is relevant and meaningful about a musical piece. 69. These are the abilities that are critical to reaching the heights of exceptionalism. 70. Ear training at a high level is not an unsolvable mystery. It is the result of a well-organized, calculated, continuous, and rigorous process that pits the dedicated, passionate student against a set of problems that need to be solved one equation at a time. 71. In order to apply all these principles to the practice at hand, students need to know what they want to do. In our case, develop a proficient musical ear and sight-singing skill. 72. Next, the student needs to make a commitment to do it on a daily basis for a set period of time. 73. Ideally, the student should also have access to a dedicated and passionate music teacher or a mentor. 74. The student needs a high-quality preparatory course. My ear training lessons and sight-singing manuals are perfectly designed to help students develop a professional musical ear and teach the fundamentals of music theory. 75. The student should practice as though he or she is performing the exercise in front of an audience, doing his or her best to sound excellent. 76. The student has to condition himself to recognize and understand what he hears. Through serious practice, the student will develop his or her strengths and capacities that are useful to recognizing their notes and their structures in a meaningful way. 77. Students need to develop two more skills, self-regulation and focused stimulation. These two added skills must be applied all the time before, during, and after the practice. 78. Best musicians set goals that are not about the outcome of the performance, but about the process of reaching the outcome, the journey versus the goal. For example, how do I sing that pattern? What is the dramatic relationship established between the two melodic patterns, and so on. This is analogous with deliberate practice in a live performance setting. 79. Great musicians are always focused on how they can get better at a specific element during their practice, improving a particular aspect of recognition and performance. And 80. Elite musicians do not think in vague terms. They care about every moment they perform. They are goal-oriented, precise, calculated, artistic, and deliberate when practicing and performing. One more thing. Keeping things simple and clear is a key element of the Livianu method for ear training and sight singing. Please remember, learning music starts with singing, and dedicated practice makes perfect. Have fun and sing the music. If you have questions, ideas, or comments, send me an email to david@livianu.com. Livianu is spelled Livianu. I would love hearing from you. Thank you for listening. I wish you great results and good luck on your road to success. This is David Livianu. The 32 lessons in audio format, together with the free PDF manuals, can be streamed or downloaded from Google.Play, Amazon, or iTunes by searching in the Google browser 32 Lessons for Ear Training and Sight Singing by David Livianu. A PDF transcript of this audio is available for download at Google.Play Books. You can find it by Googling the title, Part 4, Why Effort and Time in Practice Equals Exceptionalism in Performance.